Hi, everyone. Welcome back to this Fiercely Spiritual podcast. I'm your host, Sandra Ray, and I'm an author, healer, and spiritual teacher. And you can find me on angelicbodies.ie, where you'll find all of podcasts, you'll find weekly angel guidance, and lots of great stuff over there. So, this week we are talking about problems and why you have to stop trying to figure out your problems. So let me explain. You've all heard of the quote, we all know about Einstein saying that you can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. But what does that really mean? So I want to use an analogy here. And if you think about if you've ever watched a child trying to figure something out, say it's a jigsaw puzzle or something that they're playing with, some sort of puzzle that they have to figure out. So if you are beside the child, you'll probably see where the pieces go, and it'll probably be very clear to you where the pieces go because you have a higher level of consciousness than the child does, and you can clearly see the solution. Now, for the child, it's so much harder because they're trying to figure it out. They haven't done it before. They don't have the awareness that you have. So even though you might be able to figure it out really quickly, it'll take the child a lot longer to do it. So I want you to keep that in mind and think about now a problem in your life. So it could be something that's been going on for a while. It could be a recent problem. Maybe you've had an argument with somebody. Maybe you are struggling with finances, with a relationship. Maybe it's your health. Maybe there's something that you're struggling with there. It could be that you're desiring a change of career or something else. So think about a problem. Think about something specific and think about how long this has been going on. Now, if it's currently a problem in your life, obviously you haven't solved it. Now, what I used to do when it would come to problems is I would start Googling for answers, I'd start searching for answers, and I would be so on top of it. I'd have to figure out a solution, and it would probably consume a lot of my time trying to figure out a solution or trying to force some sort of solution. Now, that's very much an old kind of way of being. It's very masculine orientated way of being where you're forcing and pushing and forcing the outcome. And now what I do is I acknowledge, okay, there's something going on. I acknowledge that there's something I need to learn from it. So I have something that I need to learn, and I acknowledge that as well. And I also give gratitude for it because I know that in reality, there's no problems. There's just things that we can learn from, and that the perceived problem is an opportunity to learn. Now, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's harder. It depends on my perceived on the perceived severity of the problem according to my opinion. Of course, in Divine Mind, there is no degree of severity, there's no degree of difficulty with problems or solutions. Well, there's no problems anyway, there's only solutions. So think about it for a minute. Think about the difference there. The first one is where you are focusing on the problem, you're searching for answers, you're frantically looking, Googling, searching, asking people for solutions. The second is where you acknowledge it. You allow yourself to recognize that there's some gift within it, there's something you can learn, and you feel grateful for it. Now, how different does that energy feel? Now, the next step is to let go of the problem, to trust and entrust the problem to Divine Mind and know that the Divine already has a solution. Now, this is where it gets really exciting because when you think about divine intelligence is all-knowing, it is omnipotent, It is all powerful. It can do anything. So divine mind has the answer to any perceived problem. So if there's an answer, then is it really a problem in the first place? And knowing that divine mind has the solution, has the way out of the problem, you can hand it over and trust that when you are open to receiving that solution in whatever way it comes, that it will come to you. So it could come through an insight. It could come through a book that you pick up and read. It could come through an acquaintance or somebody that you happen to meet. The other day, I was dropping my sons off at tennis lessons, and the instructor randomly just came over to me and said, "Oh, are you into energy?" I had never really talked to him before, so I thought it was a bit odd that he was saying this, but I went with it. And I said, I thought, how would he know that about me? And I said, yes. And he said, yesterday I was talking to a woman and she was explaining to me about these energy techniques. And he started talking about these techniques. And then he said that she was talking about vitamin B12 and how the liquid form of vitamin B is more effective because it goes straight into your liver rather than taking tablet form because it goes into your digestive system. Now, as I was listening to this, I was thinking there's some message here. There's something I need to pay attention to. Why is he suddenly talking about all these things out of the blue? And it can be like that. Somebody can come up to you and start talking about a subject that's relevant, that has some answer in it that you need. Everybody is a gift to you, and you are a gift to everybody else. There's some answers that you have that other people need, and equally, they have answers that you need. And this is how the universe works. And often we bemoan the problems or the perceived problems, and we don't see the gift. We don't see the transformation that occur. We don't see the other side of it because we're so focused on the problem itself. We don't see the potential outcome that can be wonderful and an opportunity and exciting for us. So I want you to start just shifting your perception. Stop trying to figure out your problems. Just stop doing it. If you're tempted to start Googling, to start looking for solutions, just let it go, even for a few minutes. Just say, okay, for the next hour, I'm not going to Google anything. I'm not going to try and figure anything out. I'm just going to let it go. And sometimes that's all the space that the universe needs. It can dive in with an insight, an aha moment, something that you've been blocking because you're so focused on the problem. And when you think about it, if the problem is over here and the solution is over here, if you're looking this way, you are not going to see the solution because the solution is on the other side. So drop your problems, drop trying to figure out your problems, and know that the solution will be presented to you in perfect divine timing. And when you drop it, you become open to the universe sending you these signs and signals. And believe me, it works. I've tried it, and you will be surprised at the seeming coincidences, the seeming synchronicities that start to happen. And sometimes the problem will just dissolve of its own accord. It'll disappear and you won't have to do anything. So it's totally worth it. Drop your problems, drop trying to figure them out, and let go and trust that the solution will be presented to you or the problem will disappear. So go and try it out for yourself, and I know you will have an amazing chance to transcend your problems if you live this way. So go and try it out, and thank you once again for being here, and I will see you next week for another episode. Bye bye.